Welcome back to the channel, good people. For those of you that are trying to keep up with everything that's going on Verizon, their company is they're pretty busy. They're doing a lot of things. They're doing corporate things, they're doing marketing things, they're doing home broadband things, wireless things, 5G things, business enterprise things, cable things. They have so much going on. It's a huge mega company, but there's one thing that they publicly do address and they discuss at earnings, and they talk about the churn rate and the propensity of customers to leave, and they're saying that they want to address it. But here is a public article here posted. I saw it. It's from Anam over at Phone Arena, titled "Verizon is Scrambling to Win Back the Trust of Customers." This stems from a recent uproar from customers after Verizon started to pull back loyalty discounts, which those discounts were very specifically targeting customers who were possibly at risk for switching to AT&T, to T-Mobile, to any rival competitor of Verizon's. These discounts are pretty sizable. They're nice. Customers have really enjoyed them. And because of that, I think it kept the customers from leaving. So anywhere from like $10 to $40 across an account, you might see that kind of a discount. And those were supposed to be, I think, for like a year or something. Remember, it's really about just retaining the customer and preventing them from leaving. But Verizon has since walked back some of those discounts, and now it looks like customers are potentially leaving. So we've covered this story and we've discussed it on a couple of different videos, but now you have public, writing here. These are published articles in which customers are clearly voicing their displeasure with the direction that Verizon is going. And you have a tug of war happening. There's this push-pull scenario that's happening between Verizon customers and Verizon the company. Verizon has less accounts than it used to. Verizon and its postpaid brand services has less customers than it used to, right? I think the overall usage on the network continues to grow as they have like cable customers, the Xfinity Mobile, the Spectrum Mobile. So it's not really an issue of that. But the profitable customers that Verizon has enjoyed as their base have been more prone to leaving recently. So this is a tug of war, like I said, a battle of attrition between the customer on the postpaid Verizon brand and the company. And Verizon is trying to find this balance between customer retention, right, keeping them, but trying to squeeze the customer for more money so they can raise corporate funding. Right? This is what the bottom line. They want to pay dividends to investors. They want to return value to shareholders. And then they have corporate actions they need to accomplish, like paying down debt and other things. These things have been well documented on my channel. In fact, if I'm not even trying to toot my own horn, I don't think there's been a channel who has presented both sides of the industry as thoroughly as we have on this channel, from representing the companies to representing the consumer, trying to be as inclusive and descriptive as possible. This thing that's happening between customers and the business is a fine line. Like I said, it's a push and pull. Verizon's going to try to take what they can without disrupting the customer base, too much. But they're going to test the waters. They're going to poke a little bit. And that's what you're seeing with things like this. But this is why you've seen them kind of bring back some of those discounts. They're sending them back to customers. They're offering them as customers generate port out pins in the last ditch effort to keep them. This is very dangerous because there is going to be a contingency of customers who are going to say, I'm sick and tired of this. Why is this happening every 3 months? Why is this happening every year? Why does this continue to be the case? They may not want to deal with it anymore. Verizon has to be very careful treading these waters because the churn rate was highest in the industry. Although the industry does have a little bit of churn, you see the competition is getting very fierce. They're not far off from having a better churn rate than T-Mobile. They're not far off from having a better churn rate than AT&T. But I don't really think they care to have the industry's best churn rate. I think they just don't want it to be a bloody bath like it was a couple of years ago. I think that's an important thing, and that's why I made this video. Guys, gals, shop, get the best deal that you can. If Verizon won't give it to you, then find it somewhere else. But I think this relationship between Verizon and their price hikes and their pricing levers and the customer, I think that's here to stay. I think this is going to be the way moving forward. Verizon's going to test the waters. They're going to see what they can get away with. Even though the industry with this administration has been seeing quite a nice tax relief benefit, I think they're going to try to get the most out of this era with Trump, right? I don't think that's going to change. So just be on the lookout for these things and be ready to move if you got to. You know, that's the conversation we'll be having moving forward. The company, the consumer, and the needs of both. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Drop me your questions, comments, and concerns. Be excited to read what you guys have to say. Like, share, subscribe, check out some more videos. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.